Crikey, I've not done one of these to camera for a long time. Hello everyone, how we all doing? Now, well, it's to no surprise why I'm on camera today. The channel just hit 100 subscribers. That's quite amazing, really. I never thought anybody would be watching me in over a year's time, so here we go. You have to excuse me, I'm in my sort of, well, pajama-y sort of hoodie. So I said to you lot on Instagram, I'll be doing a Q&A. We're gonna do it, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's see what you lot asked. Ziggy asks, favorite animated show or movie? Can be anime, 3D animation, cartoon, etc. That's a tough one because I quite like a lot of animated movies. If I had to guess, really, it's a tough one. This is a tough question. Why didn't I prepare before I hit record? I'm an idiot. I'm an absolute idiot. I think the one that stuck out to me the most, especially as a child, is Wallace and Gromit's The Wrong Trousers. Basically, I used to have it on video when I was very, very young, and I used to watch it religiously, like to death. It's one of my favourite stop-motion movies ever made. Wallace and Gromit are quite near and dear to my heart, but it's going to have to be Wallace and Gromit The Wrong Trousers. Oddart.ig asks, what colour is your underwear? If I'm going to really honestly tell you, I'm just kidding, I'm not wearing any. Herschel from Shock and Schlock asks, most extreme non-pornographic film you've seen, and favourite underground director? Good question this. Crikey, I think the most extreme non-pornographic film I've ever seen, up to date I suppose, is Lars von Trier's The House That Jack Built. That film was absolutely horrific, and it goes really, really far. And that bit with the shooting range, I just couldn't do it, man. It was just, that was so sick and twisted and just really malicious. Lars von Trier is a very controversial director, and he has been for many, many years. He makes films that he wants to make, and that's cool, but to me that it did nothing for me really. It was an interesting idea, and he did play I forget his name, but he did play a serial killer really, really well. It's just that one scene made me feel really, really ill, and I just had to turn it off and then come back to it another day. I couldn't really deal with it. It was just too much for me. And I guess my favourite underground director, it's going to have to be, I think, Shozen Vakui, because he's one of the main contributors to me going on this underground path. So without his work, I wouldn't have gone down the path of wanting to dig deeper, so to speak. So yeah, Shozen Vakui is my favourite underground director. Frog Sewer asked me, what's the film/doc that hypes you up the most? Oh, good question. I think the film that hypes me up the most is The Raid 2. That's a movie that gets my adrenaline going, even though I've seen it millions of times. The Raid 2 is the one that really hypes me up. It's just the most exciting movie I ever saw, and I probably will ever see. To me, anyway, nothing really comes close to it. And in terms of documentaries, I mean, documentaries don't really hype me up. I guess I'd have to say something out of like Louis Theroux's catalogue. Like something out of his Weird Weekends episodes that he did back in like the early 2000s. Something like that, you know, which is quite quirky and nobody was really doing it at the time, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's something I'd probably go for. I like this one. Pet for Chocks, or Bimancupus, Pepper Crab, whichever one he wants to go by these days. Favourite video games? Oh, good question. I play quite a lot of video games, not as much as I used to. But I really love a good platformer like Crash Bandicoot or the old school Sonic games from the Mega Drive era. Yeah, something like that, I suppose. I'm really into Resident Evil. I think my favourite in that series is 4, because it was my first Resident Evil. Yeah, Crash Bandicoot 2, Sonic 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, as well. I really got into Bloodborne when I got my PS4. Bloodborne was fantastic. I beat Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne as well. What else? I really love all the Soulsborne type games like Sekiro, and Elden Ring was really, really good. I haven't beaten it yet because when any Soulsborne comes out, I kind of hit a wall, so to speak. I hit a wall where it's like doing the same thing over and over again, and I kind of get a bit fatigued. So I just put it down and come back to it a month later, and I'll somehow do it, and then all of a sudden, do the boss level, and, it's alright then, I can then carry on doing the game, and then, it's all good. Played a lot of Burnout. Burnout 3 was my favourite game growing up. Burnout Paradise was good too. Basically, I like games that are fun and don't really take themselves too seriously. Obviously, story is important for some games, like narrative-driven games. But if they can balance the fun with that, then I'm all in, basically. If that answers your question. What else have we got on here? Pep Chalk asked me another question. Favourite podcasts, question mark. Been watching Show Me Something Wrong recently. I don't really listen to podcasts, to be honest. If I had to guess, oh god, I used to really like the Jack Mate's Happy Hour podcast. That was really up my alley. And then I guess my taste kind of changed, really. Yeah, I like that sort of thing. I liked the Uneasy Terrain Explorers Club. That was brilliant. Still is brilliant. Review Tech USA is exposed because there was a really interesting interview he did with the British YouTuber Ashens. That was really cool. I'm not really a big podcasty type of person, really. I kind of would just watch the clips, if I'm being brutally honest. I can't focus with having a podcast in the background. I have to have something when I'm editing. I have to have like complete focus on that one thing, because otherwise I won't get anything done. And that's no good. But yeah, those three are probably the ones I watched the most. Cup of tea a minute. Yum. It's cold. Hey, Lost Boy Soul 71 asks, have you ever been to America, or have any desire to do so? That's a really good question. I have never been to America. I have friends over in America, but I've never actually been to America. I would love to go to America and meet some of you lovely lot one day, hopefully at a convention or just passing through maybe. But I'd love to go to places like New York, and I'd love to go to historical places. I want to do, hopefully one day in the future, I want to do a video of all of the Goonies shooting locations. That's something I wanted to do for years, because Goonies is one of my favourite films of all time, and I would just love to go there and just go around all the places that they filmed, as many as I can basically. Hopefully one day I can, well, if anybody will let me come to a convention, yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I imagine it would just be me outside of the convention with a couple of deck chairs just talking to you lot for an hour and a half about rubbish. That's probably what it's going to be. I can just imagine it now. It's going to be glorious. Spooky Celluloid asks, how did you get into trash and gross cinema? It all started, I'm going to be honest with you, this might surprise you, but it all started with the Human Centipede films. I remember, I'm going to do a video on this, but it all started with the Human Centipede 2. I remember as a kid, obviously, all the hysteria around it, and, oh, it's banned, it should be outlawed, all this sort of thing. My mum even said to me, do not watch this film, because she read about it online, and it was all bullshit, really. It's not a good film, but I can understand why it caused an uproar. So that was really my sort of, my gateway into trash and gross cinema, I suppose, putting it loosely. And then I sort of discovered YouTube channels that were dedicated to having like top 10 most extreme film lists, like, horrible reviews, and that really sort of got the ball rolling for me. Films that I would never even have thought or imagined of watching, and then the bug sort of bit me, and I gradually sort of found other channels that were talking about this kind of stuff. Aaron from Reaper of the Films asks, your all-time favourite directors? Also hope all is going well for you, my friend. Everything's going well, mate, thank you very much, I'm alright. My all-time favourite director or directors? We'll go with directors. Shozen Fukui, Shinya Tsukamoto, John Waters, Guy Pearce at Sculpting Fragments. Right, I think now. This is embarrassing, isn't it? Oh, got a very wheezy cough at the minute. Sorry, I sound like I smoked 20 a day. Who else? John Carpenter, Tarantino, David Cronenberg, so another good one. Peter Jackson, of course. John Hughes. Oh, and Akira Kurosawa. So those are my sort of big influences when it comes to cinema and talking about cinema. Another one from Ziggy. If you had to pick one movie to watch for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Oh, good question, good question. That's a very, very tough one. We're going to go with Peter Jackson's Brain Dead. The reason why I pick that is because of how ridiculous that movie is, and how over the top it is, and how much fun it has with it, and knowing that it's over the top. And also that it was, at one point the goriest film ever put on screen. Just says it all really. The special effects are incredible. The story isn't half bad. The acting's pretty decent. It's funny, it's violent, it's very, very aware that it's not amazing, but it has a lot of fun with it, and I think that's why I'm going to pick it. Brain Dead would be my desert island movie for sure. And last but not least, my best friend James asks, where do you see the channel going in a year from now? Good question. I've actually got some plans in the process for video ideas and things to experiment with that don't go too far from my editing style now, but video topics that go away from my usual, what I used to talk about, you know, weird, messed up films. But, you know, I would love to do vlogs. I'd love to travel more and maybe even meet up at a convention or a meetup or something like that one day. But my goal for the channel really is to just be consistent and, you know, improve as much as I can and be entertaining. It sounds daft, but I can't believe I have 100 people watching my channel in the first place. I remember when I had none, and, you know, I was going through that rut of, oh, maybe this isn't the right way to go, but, you know, I've met some incredible friends over on, you know, on my social medias, and you know who you are. Thank you so much for subscribing, watching, follow me on Instagram, follow me on whatever fucking platform there is on here. It really does mean the world to me, and yeah, without you lot, this channel wouldn't be anything. So, you know, I wouldn't have the motivation to do any of this. So, yeah, yeah, thank you so much, guys. You are really appreciated. But to get back to the question, sorry, do some different things, go and do some interviews, and, you know, just be that sort of little niche little corner where people go to watch some different kind of content, I suppose. That's really sort of my goal, and to have an audience that, you know, as amazing as you guys to actually, you know, keep watching me, I suppose. That's really about as good of an answer you're going to get, I'm afraid. And that concludes my 100 subscriber Q&A. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I answered your questions as best as I could. But yeah, hopefully you'll be here for the next 100 and the next 100, you know, until, you know, I reach maybe 1,000, who knows. But yeah, thank you so much. It means the world to me, like I said before. And like, there's a bike going by, how fucking rude. And to be honest, bloody bike. But yeah, I never expected anybody to be watching my content and, you know, making people laugh and entertain them, and it's just really nice that knowing that I've got an amazing group of people to entertain. And yeah, it's crazy, and I'm really excited for the future of Smashmine. So thank you very much for watching, guys. As always, do like, comment and subscribe, and I'll hopefully see you again for the next one. I have something special planned for December, so stay tuned for that. Hope everyone is well, safe in the warm from this horrible winter, and I'll see you again next time.